There's a moment in every person's life when they look in the mirror and wonder if this is all there is. If the struggle, the exhaustion, the endless cycle of just surviving is all they'll ever know. Today, I want to tell you about a man who stood at that mirror with hands still raw from scrubbing floors and dared to dream anyway. This isn't just his story. It's a blueprint for anyone who's ever felt invisible, overlooked, or told they don't belong. Stay with me, because what happens next might just change everything you believe about your own potential. His name was Marcus, and every morning at 4:30, while the world still slept, he'd arrive at a tech company's gleaming office tower in Silicon Valley. He wasn't there for the pitch meetings or the product launches. He was there to empty the trash cans and mop the floors before anyone important arrived. He'd watch through glass conference room walls as young entrepreneurs, not much different in age from him, discussed funding rounds and disrupting industries. They'd walk past him without seeing him, their eyes fixed on screens and futures he couldn't imagine belonging to. Some nights, after his shift ended at midnight, Marcus would sit in his car in the parking lot, too tired to drive home, wondering if his 3-year-old daughter would even recognize him anymore. He was working 70 hours a week between 2 janitorial jobs, and still, the bills kept piling up. Still, the dream of something more felt like a luxury he couldn't afford. But here's what most people don't understand about rock bottom. Sometimes, it's not a place of despair. Sometimes, it's the solid ground you need to finally push off from. One night, while cleaning a conference room, Marcus found a programming book left on a table. He almost threw it away. Instead, something made him open it. He stood there, mop in hand, reading about loops and functions, and for the first time in years, he felt a spark. Not hope, exactly. More like curiosity. Like maybe there was a language he could learn that would help him speak his way out of this life. That night, Marcus went home and found free coding tutorials online. He studied from midnight to 3 in the morning, the only hours he had to himself. His body screamed for sleep, but something deeper was waking up. He failed constantly those first few months. Code that was supposed to work didn't. Programs crashed. Error messages mocked him in red text. But here's what changed everything. Marcus stopped seeing failure as proof he didn't belong and started seeing it as tuition. Every mistake was teaching him something the entrepreneurs upstairs had paid $50,000 to learn in college. He was getting his education one late night at a time, one error message at a time, one small victory at a time. 6 months in, Marcus built his first functional app. It was simple, nothing revolutionary, just a scheduling tool for service workers like himself. But when he showed it to other janitors and security guards in the building, their eyes lit up. They said it would actually help them. That's when Marcus realized something profound. His perspective wasn't a disadvantage. Being invisible in that building had given him insight into problems that the brilliant people upstairs never noticed. He understood the lives of the people they were trying to build products for because he was one of them. 2 years passed. Marcus kept cleaning floors by day and coding by night. He applied to over 200 jobs and got 200 rejections. Each one said the same thing. No degree, no experience, not what they're looking for. But then, at a tech meetup he'd nervously attended, someone saw his scheduling app. They asked questions. Real questions. They wanted to know his story. Within a week, Marcus had his first freelance client. Within a month, he had 3. Within 6 months, he quit one of his janitorial jobs. Within a year, he quit both. The breakthrough came 3 years after he'd picked up that programming book. Marcus launched a platform connecting service workers with flexible shift opportunities, built by someone who understood their reality from the inside out. Investors who once would have walked past him without seeing him were now sitting across tables, wanting in. His company raised $2 million, then 10, then 25. But here's what Marcus says was the real moment. The day he went back to that office building, not to clean it, but to pitch his platform to the same company where he'd once been invisible. The CEO didn't recognize him at first. When Marcus reminded him they'd crossed paths before, just in different roles, the room went silent. Then the CEO said something Marcus will never forget. "I wish I'd seen you then, but I'm grateful I can see you now." Today, Marcus's company employs over 300 people. But every new hire, regardless of their position, spends their first week doing the jobs that keep the company running. Cleaning, organizing, supporting. He calls it perspective training. He calls it remembering. So what can we learn from Marcus's journey? First, your starting point doesn't determine your destination. Where you begin is just geography. Where you end up is built through daily choices. Second, invisibility can be your superpower. When people underestimate you, you gain the freedom to build without their expectations weighing you down. Third, education doesn't require permission. The information that changed Marcus's life was free. What wasn't free was the discipline to use it when he was exhausted, discouraged, and alone. Fourth, your perspective is valuable precisely because it's yours. The problems you see clearly are often invisible to others, and that makes you irreplaceable. Finally, success isn't about becoming someone else. It's about becoming more fully yourself, with skills added. Now here's my challenge to you. Think about one skill you've been telling yourself you don't have time to learn. One dream you've been postponing until life gets easier. What if you started today, right now, with just 15 minutes? Not because it'll be easy, not because success is guaranteed, but because you deserve to know what you're capable of when you stop waiting for permission to begin. Marcus didn't need anyone to tell him he was worthy of more. He just needed to believe it enough to start. So start. Your future self is waiting on the other side of that decision. And trust me, they'll thank you for beginning today. Retry Claude can make mistakes. Please double-check responses.